Welcome back to Peer-Guided DBT Lessons, provided by DBT Skills Application, Peers Helping Peers. This week's lesson, marked 4-7 in our Interpersonal Effectiveness module, will be examining the acronym FAST. Please keep in mind that we're simply peers helping peers, working together to bring about more peaceful, constructive, and ultimately happier lives. In other words, a life worth living. FAST, or F-A-S-T, is an acronym of DBT, directed at self-respect effectiveness. If your highest goal is to maintain or increase your self-respect, the skills in FAST are aimed at helping you to achieve that. This is concerned with maintaining your values and beliefs so that you can still feel good about yourself after the interaction. In simple language, how to keep your self-respect. So let's take a look at what the letters in FAST stand for. Starting with F for fair. Be fair. A for apologies. Few apologies. S for stick to your values. And T for truthful. Be truthful. FAST skills could be viewed as a balancing beam between the dear man and give skills. Balancing between what you want and need with what the other person wants and needs is sometimes the best path to self-respect. If you overuse only one or the other, your self-respect will erode over time. For increased self-respect, the middle path is usually the best path. Starting with our first letter F for fair. Be fair. Be fair to yourself and to the other person. Try to be unbiased and fair in how you perceive situations and make compromises. Make sure you are looking at the situation from not only your position, but also from the other person's point of view. Fairness involves give and take in your attempts to meet your objectives. Be sure that negotiations benefits all parties involved. This could mean compromising in this specific situation or exchange of favors for long-term mutual benefit. Fairness is a non-polarized way of being. It tends to balance towards the middle. It seeks to find a balance between extreme or polarized points of view. All or nothing thinking tends to be unbalanced and go to one side or the other. Fairness includes both your thoughts and your actions. It requires that you use non-judgmental skills focusing on facts, what, when, and who, rather than personal opinions of the facts, why. Judgment creates biases and prejudices which get in the way of the facts. Next we have A for apologies. Few apologies. Over-apologetic behavior diminishes your self-respect because it can reinforce self-invalidation and old self-judgments. When you apologize when you don't believe you are in the wrong, it will decrease your sense of effectiveness and worth as a person. Apologizing implies that you're in the wrong or have made a mistake. If this is the case, then an apology may be needed, but apologize only when an apology is warranted. Apologies should only be made when an action worthy of an apology has occurred. So, don't apologize for being alive, having needs and wants, making a request to meet needs, something you already apologized for, what you believe, your thoughts, your feelings, having an opinion, disagreeing, your values, and don't apologize for being you. In many situations, saying thank you is a much better way to apologize, which may not only fulfill your need to say you're sorry, but also allows the other person to feel better about their part in the interaction. Expressing thanks instead of an apology can cultivate a sense of positivity between the two of you because you're appreciating their sacrifice rather than apologizing for your faults. So on the one side we have being sorry. It puts the focus on our shortcomings. Saying we're sorry exposes and brings into clearer focus our weaknesses. Without intending to do so, we're lowering our self-worth and harming our self-confidence. Whereas saying thank you puts focus on another's contribution. Saying thank you takes the focus away from ourselves and places an edifying focus on the other person. Thank you is used to express gratitude and appreciation for others. Some examples of this are, on the one side, I'm saying sorry, I'm always late, versus thank you for your patience. Saying I'm sorry, I'm always late accentuates your ineffective time management skill, whereas saying thank you for your patience acknowledges the gratitude you have for the other person who waited for you. Another example, saying sorry for going on and on versus thank you for listening. Saying sorry for going on and on expresses your low self-value by assuming they didn't want to listen to you, whereas saying thank you for listening emphasizes gratitude for their time and interest. Another example, when you say sorry for taking up all your time versus thank you for spending time with me. Saying sorry for taking up all your time reveals your belief that you're not important or worthy enough to take up someone's time, whereas saying thank you for spending time with me emphasizes gratitude for their time and friendship. By exchanging thanks for sorry, you avoid diminishing your self-image and altering the way the other person thinks of you while praising the other person for their actions. Next we have S for stick to your values. Stand up for what you believe in. Keep your focus on what you believe. Don't give up your values for things less important. Be clear about what is important to you, then stand your ground. Your values are the principles by which you live or the beliefs that direct your behavior. Many values are based upon your moral beliefs, your accepted moral codes that define what you believe to be right and wrong. These values help to determine your correct course of action. Your values are ideals that guide your thinking and behavior. Don't sell out your values or integrity just to get what you want or keep the other person liking you. Be true to yourself. Acting in accordance with your values will reward you with increased self-esteem and self-confidence. People who have a healthy self-respect feel proud of and satisfied with their moral choices. Next we have T for truthful. Be truthful. Being truthful requires that you're honest when communicating with another person. It requires that you're truthful not only to the other person, but also to yourself, as you tell the truth about yourself, about others, and about events. Truthfulness means that you tell it like it is. If you are distorting, exaggerating, or minimizing reality, you are not being truthful. Acting like you are helpless when you are not is dishonest. Asking for help when help is really needed is skillful, while asking for help because you are afraid or don't want to try is untruthful. Making excuses to avoid taking responsibility for your actions is not being truthful. Taking responsibility for your actions, excuses won't erase or alter that action. Being honest without excuses. Exaggerating or minimizing facts in order to manipulate is not being honest. When you distort the situation by saying something is more or less serious or important than the reality, you are not being honest. Being truthful requires also that you be honest about yourself, to yourself. Are you able to own your talents and successes? Without bragging, are you able to accept that you're good at something or did a good job? This is required to be truthful. Are you able to admit to yourself and others that you have cracks and faults? It can be hard to admit those to ourselves and downright scary to admit those to others. Part of telling the truth is to allow yourself to be honest in creating the life you want to live, acknowledging when you've made mistakes or changed your mind. It's also about letting your cracks or faults be visible and create the repair as part of your being. The imperfections can add to your beauty. This is by Karen Hall, PhD. If you want to increase and expand your self-respect, you are required to act in ways that will make it rise. Increased self-respect begins with your personal belief that you are a person of value, which you then convey through compatible actions. This means you will treat others with fairness, without apologies, responsibly, with integrity, and truthfully. To have and maintain self-respect, don't apologize for anything that you wouldn't expect others to apologize for. Insist that others treat you with respect, kindness, and patience, in keeping with your values. Expect people to be honest with you, as you are honest with them. Nobody can take away your self-respect. You must give it up to lose it. Be sure to check out the video description in the comments below. You'll find a link to the website lesson that accompanies this video. You will also find links to the handouts and worksheets created to complement this video. And while you're there, if you found this video helpful, be sure to like it. Next time in our peer-guided DBT lessons, we'll be looking into the mindfulness module and examining wise mind, states of mind. Please join us then.